G'day guys, my name's iRideTaz, and in today's video we're going to try and replace this Jama exhaust, and these are made in Holland. They're Dutch, and one of my subscribers suggested that they were very popular as aftermarket exhausts in the late 90s, early 2000s, which fits perfectly with the age of this bike. What we're going to replace them with, Emgo style cocktail shaker exhausts. These were $129 from eBay. I think they look fantastic. I think they're going to suit the style of bike we're going for really well. But one thing that you don't see is these cheap exhausts on XVS650. People tend to lash out and put Vance and Hines or Cobras on it. And I'm sure we're about to find out why. But I'm curious to see how we go putting a cheaper exhaust on the bike rather than something that's 2/3 the value of the machine that I bought. So let's get into it. We'll start by getting those off, and then we'll conclude by putting them on and then firing the bike up to see how it sounds. Wish me luck. Considering how rusty that is, that's actually come away really easily. We might have to get the bottom one off first, which will help us get the top one off. There's a heat shield that will loosen and spin out the way, and then we'll undo this one, and that should allow us to pull that out once the rear hanger mount has been loosened. Comes with an internal baffle, but I'm not going to trust it just by itself. So again, we'll just put some Loctite on the thread. That is actually surprisingly firmly mounted. Righto, let's try and get the bottom one on. bit of messing about, we got the exhaust on. The problem with the stock XVS650 exhaust is that this pipe here is very, very narrow. It's sort of only about an inch, where this is about 2 inch. So we had to come up with a way to step from 1 inch to 2 inch. And sort of ultimately what I did was I cut this section from the original exhaust. So that's it there. It's stuck out there and slid on. So I cut it off. And then I used a couple of brass rings that I used to step up, and they came with the eBay exhaust I bought, and then a hose clamp or two to crush it down, and it actually works perfectly. I'm really happy with it. Next step, I want to take this heat shield off and wrap, but ultimately I've wrapped almost every bike I've ever owned and I love the look. I want to do something different here, so I'm going to do segment wrap. I'm going to just wrap that point. So this heat shield's held on with some hose clamps.
That's Dizzy there, guys, with the pipes installed and a segment of wrap on. That sort of segmented look rather than the full wrap pipe is pretty popular for wrap bikes and Japanese choppers, so I thought I'd give it a go. I've wrapped plenty of full pipes but never half pipe or a quarter of a pipe, and I think it's come up pretty well. The pipes sound amazing, so we're going to take it for a little ride so you can get a feel for it. Go this way. So the pipes themselves are fairly loud. I wouldn't say it's obnoxious. I've certainly had louder bikes, and it's not too tinny, not too drony. Just suits the bike. They look great. They're surprisingly good quality. And the baffles in them that come from the factory obviously work, and I've left them in just to provide a little bit of back pressure and dull the sound out a little bit. It's short of a screw and baffle, they're straight through. Each of the Java pipes that were on it were about 6 kilo. Very heavily baffled and quite restrictive. After I cut that end section off, you still couldn't see right through the pipe. Just heavily baffled in a number of spots. So I'd say just as heavily baffled as the stock pipes and heavier, so no major gain. But these less restrictive and less heavy, so you get the benefit of, let's say, 12 kilo of less weight, so increased power to weight ratio. They're a lot less restrictive, and even without playing with the jetting, you can feel more pickup, and you can feel less hesitation from 3/4 throttle on. Interestingly, I haven't played with the jetting, I haven't played with the air-fuel mixture, and I'm getting 0 burble and 0 backfire, which is really interesting. I would have thought it would have been popping and farting all over the place, and I haven't had one backfire. You can feel the bike has noticeably better pickup. Which really makes me wonder what jets are in this bike. I can only really assume that they're stock, just judging from everything else that has gone on with these pipes. Here, guys, all in all, aesthetically great, sounds awesome, less restrictive, so better pickup. Tick, 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 tick. Double thumbs up. Till I see you next time, guys. My name's Alright Taz. I'm out.